Greetings, Tony from Old River Hardgoods again. Today's musical selection is Fyre In The Skye from my second CD, Last Sun. And as always, the links to the full version and a video I made of it are down there in the description. In today's video, we are going to take a look at just a bunch of flea market segments I've been recording here and there, and they're just kind of sitting around taking up room, and I figured it was time to put them into play. We're also going to take a quick trip around the Kutztown Antiques Extravaganza, to be exact. Happened at the end of June, and catch up on some of that stuff. So, anyways, all aboard! Well, after the disaster that was Madison Blockville, Sunday's flea market actually turned into a pretty decent day. Got a back saw marked warranty superior. I think it's possibly a Harvey Pierce. There's a bit of an etch here, but I'm going to take a little careful cleaning to bring that out. But it's not too bad a shape, except for a little chipping on the tote. But I'll tell you what, those older back saws are few and far between. Pair of jeweler's pliers in the original box. Need a little cleaning. A couple of Buck Brothers 1/4 inch firmers. A hand forged axe. Artistically enhanced by one of my flea market artists. This is kind of neat. This is a Glendron patent 1892 bicycle wrench. They made one with a cutout for doing spokes, but this one doesn't have it. But still, don't see them too often. Your basic Craftsman tapered reamer, not in too bad a shape. A little Stanley dowel pointer. Don't remember the model number, but they don't show up too often. Bunch of squares. This is a Diston. I haven't seen one with this kind of locking wheel before. That's a little different. So here's not signed except for some user marks. This is a Stanley Type 1 10 inch number 25. Not too bad a shape. It's kind of a rough number 25 run of the mill 10 inch Stanley. That's going to take some work to beat it into shape. Finishing with the squares, a 8 inch winter bottom square, pretty rough. Don't know if that one's going to survive or not. This one should clean up all right. 4.5 inch V logo, 1910-1920s tri-square. Couple of drafting rules with the original case, and a French slide rule. I don't know if that's ivory or bakelite or what it is. I mean, it's pretty neat, good shape. And finishing off the pile, leather awl, a Ryan Toolworks perfect handle style screwdriver. They work right across the street from PS&W, and there's supposed to be some kind of relationship there, but I don't recall if anybody's fully worked that out. And last, a Yankee a ratcheting screwdriver that somebody put a different handle on for some reason, but it's kind of neat. So, anyways, hey, pretty good pickings for Sunday, I'd say. Well, we're on our way to the summer Kutztown show. Kind of a cool gray day after the 90-degree heat wave we just went through, and back down here in the back area of Lehigh County. And if you see that farm kind of off to the right there, yeah, if you can see it, I don't know if you can or not. Anyways, that building, that farm at one point was owned by one of the two guys who helped move the Liberty Bell from Philadelphia to Allentown during the Revolutionary War. And I know this because they had an auction there about 30 years ago, and I was there, and I got some tools. Matter of fact, I still have the one kind of funky jointed plane, because I never got a blade found a blade and a wedge for it, but or an iron and a wedge for it. But anyways, you know, it's just a little bit of trivia history. There was some neat stuff there, let me tell you. But anyways, I'll keep the road trip stuff to a minimum, and we'll catch you when we get there. Well, Sunday's pickings at the flea markets weren't exactly stellar, but I did manage to get a few things. 10-inch jaw knife, didn't see a maker on it. It's got some patina, but hopefully that'll clean up okay. An 1/8 of an inch sash paring chisel. I did buzz around a little on this guy looking for a name, but didn't find one, but those guys are getting very hard to come by. A razor hone. I kind of remember who made this, but I just don't remember the name. It's got a little bit of a paper label there, you can see. Yep. So I'll figure that one out. It's what I think it is. They were pretty collectible at one point. A executive pocket pal, not in great shape, but a little, a little metal polish will make that pretty up, advertising piece. Stanley 6-inch Eureka with the patent date on it. That should clean up, not too bad. Ditto for this king cutter. It does have patent, I forget the patentee. I've had some others. But that should clean up all right. A little custom. 7/8 of an inch, or so it says on the bottom there. Blacksmith's Hardy for doing scroll work. 14-inch Spofford brace. Not in too bad a shape. There's definitely a bit buster there, but we'll see how she goes through the wash cycle. A small spoke shave. Not too bad. So it looks like somebody might have repainted it, but yeah, still not too bad. Pads I bought mainly for the blade because it's got a long blade on it. And I got a couple that need blades that are in better shape, so we'll see what we can dig out for that. And this is J.W. Mitchell, London, England. 1865, 1870 era. Half-inch side bead. Not too bad. Couple of things and bumps, but that got pretty up without too much fussing and kicking. So, just another day of hunting for old tools. Well, it's about 25 to 9. And not much of a line to get in. People are still pulling in, so I'm sure it'll get busier. The field looks iffy. Don't know how good this trip's gonna be, but you never know, right? A Wednesday morning trip down to the Leport flea market was actually pretty productive. There were people out picking, and I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff, but I still managed to get a decent load, so let's take a look. First off is this try-on. I forget who made those or whatever, but draw knife. Front's kind of funky, handle's kind of funky, but the back's pretty clean, so we can fix the rest. Looks to be a early 19th century or maybe late 18th century dado plane. No maker's mark, but a user mark on the side, which is Something the folks in Southeast PA like to do. This is a Ward. Yeah, William Ward, New York. Dado. 3/8, I'm guessing it's not marked. It's got a couple issues. That wedge is stuck in there. I got to get that out. That's the wrong iron. It's a center bead iron, but we can kind of do a little magic on that to fix that. That's an easy fix. This one's signed, but I can't read it. Again, probably early 19th century. I call it an astragal Taurus bead, but we'll get that worked out. 3 gimlets for the pile. This is a find. If you can see the mark. This is a bevel square by Mr. Winterbottom. I didn't look up the speeds and feeds on him yet, but I know him. You know him because he invented the Stanley Trimiter square, the Winterbottom patent, which Stanley bought and made a mint on. Another really nice find is this Cheney cast steel ball peen hammer. Does not look like it was used much, just got a little patinas from sitting around. We can shine up the nice parts. Still has the label on the handle, probably the original price label, and of course it's number 86. Everything matches. Matching serial numbers, as they say. Small, 6-sided shaft, hex shaft, German perfect handle screwdriver, style screwdriver. A pair of cigar box opening knives, clean up. That one's it's a Dexter rosewood handle. This one I didn't see a name on, but they both need some cleaning. Probably not worth a whole lot. I remember I used to get 35, 40 bucks for them, but again, I remember a lot of things like that. Here we have an early hand-forged grease lamp. It's missing the lid piece. It should have a little pivoting lid on it, but hey, the base looks pretty solid. I might just give it a quick wipe over, make sure there's no hiding in there. C.S. Osborne rosewood adjustable spoke shave. Blade is clean, but the body's got some minor issues we'll have to address. And this kind of neat little bench vise. Jaws are about 3/4 of an inch or so, and you call it a machinist vise, whatever, but hand vise on steroids. I don't know. But anyways, hey, not too bad of a pile. Well, we're in, and it's really light vendor-wise. Yeah, I got a couple things, but it's looking like it's going to be another one of those should I have done it in the first place type trips. But you pay your money, you take your chances. Well, first official quote-unquote day of summer at the flea market, Saturday the 21st, actually turned out pretty good. It was warm to start. It's going to get real hot this afternoon, but I managed with a little luck and good timing and grabbed some stuff. So let's take a quick look. Got a Lufkin shrink rule. This one's a number 8208. 5/16 per foot. I forget what that's for. A Stanley riveting hammer. Pretty good shape. It's just a little TLC. It does have a decal, which is always a crowd pleaser. A hand-forged pot trivet. That's an original. Don't look like no Rendezvous Repo, but somebody did paint it. I'll have to unpaint it. A Norland camp hatchet. Boy, getting harder and harder to find these guys. One of my flea market artists, same guy that painted the trivet, give this a shot of the shiny stuff, so we'll get some of that off of it. Nice little plum 2-ounce ball peen hammer. Don't know if the handle's original, well, it kind of looks original, but who knows. It's kind of interesting. A machinist surface gauge, Don't know the maker on it, but it has this fine adjustment down at the bottom. And I suspect there's probably some patent for this guy out there. It's going to take some research looking. Of course, it's going to need some cleaning. A triple wasted turn screw. Unfortunately, I think somebody filled in the handle with body putty or with wood putty. We'll see. But anyway, we can get that cleaned up. Still kind of neat. The blade's kind of neat. And last, is a big old felling axe, or as they say, off with their heads. This one's definitely Ford's. Collins is making these for export sale, 1930s, 1940s, and up to the 1930s, 1940s. But so they're kind of hard to date. And this one doesn't have a name that I see. And again, Mr. Shiny got to it, but yeah, what are you going to do? But anyways, this is the first round of this batch. Over in the second pavilion, lots of empty spaces. Stopped by my one guy I know from Leport flea market over the years, and man, his prices are getting crazy high. But what are you gonna do, right? This is the first pavilion. This is actually a little busier. I mean, I snagged some stuff here, so. But it's gonna take a slow loop around the outside one more time, and that's gonna be it for today, I think. I just don't see anything else showing up. Again, it's pretty empty. And here we got round two. Oh man. Anyways, a couple of 78 Stanley rabbit plane parts. Cap's got an S casting mark on it, so that's one of the rule and level ones. A long Buck Brothers turn screw blade. You see the smaller ones, never one that size. Neat little countersink bit for a brace. A couple of gimlets. Forstner bit for a brace. Don't see the size. I guess I should have my reading glasses on, but I don't right now. A plug cutting bit for a brace. Those are getting few and far between. Center point bit. That'll clean up all right. A spoke shave, early one. Maybe one of the Bailey ones. I don't know. We'll see when I get the crud off of it. Center finder head for a Starrett 4-inch combination square. Orphan chisel handles. But then we got some orphan chisels too. A couple of small gouges. 1/2-inch long one, probably a Buck Brothers looking at it. Carving tool. 1/8 of an inch, another 1/8 of an inch. That one's a Buck Brothers. Yep. A early ratcheting screwdriver. I give it a quick dust off with the brass brush to see if I can see a name, but I don't. Whatever. And a Simplex pattern maker's plane. You follow me, I've got a whole video on pattern maker stuff, but this one has 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 soles, 6 irons, the body, and the dummy here left the cap in the box of part junk. So hopefully the guy will have it tomorrow with him, or if not, maybe we'll get him to fish it out for next week. But anyways, we'll figure something out. But no, for a Saturday morning, not too bad. Well, it's a little after 10. I did okay picking wise, nothing great, but I got an okay volume, so that helps. And now for the ride back to the shop, and hopefully I can park in front of the shop, because they've been doing this paving project and going on forever and ever, amen. But anyways, we'll catch you when we catch you. And here we have the pickings from today's Kutztown adventure. Not a great pile, but still better than, what I've been finding much. Anyways, a hand-rolled shoe rule. Didn't see a maker on it yet. It's going to require just a little very careful cleaning. 3/4 inch GI mix mortising chisel, timber framers chisel, pretty good shape, handle salvageable. This one I don't see a name on. It's 1.5 inches. Socket's got a little carnage, and that handle's got to go. A 3/4 inch, pattern maker's paring chisel. Again, no maker. Kind of looks like a buck, but can't be sure. There's something scratched on there. Username scratched on there. Handles, got some patina, the London pattern handle, but we can make that look somewhat presentable. This one will need a handle, but it is a buck, number 19. Carving tool gouge, measures 13/16 at the edge. Stanley 720, 1/4 inch long. Needs some cleaning. It's got mostly staining on it. A Greenlee, 1/2 inch. Again, back's pretty good. Needs a handle. Hopefully I can find some handles. A nice wood case sharpening stone. Well, it will be when I get done with it. Looks to be mahogany. Yeah, mahogany. Looks to be walnut. And those construction where they use the center point bit to do the mortising. And I suspect, if I get the stone out, it might come out. But I'm not gonna play with it. The bottom is done the same way. And the stone's got some, a little bit of wear in that, but that'll clean up pretty nice. And we've seen too many of those around. A little different brass plumb bob. Got some dings and bumps and whatever, but it's a little different style. It's not your run-of-the-mill General or Dyson or whatever. And a Stanley 51 spoke shave. Got a little wear to the finish. I might spray bomb that, but the blade's pretty good. Cap just needs some cleaning. So, anyways, hey, not a great one, but sure better than nothing. Well, I did get the stone cleaned up, and since it's going to be leaving here on Monday, it's sold already. I'm going to give you a quick look at it. Note the grain. I mean, that's really gorgeous wood. And here's the, and you can see the marks. The stone is a fine white, but it's heavily stained. I mean, it really took some doing to get it out of the base without breaking anything. I mean, it was real crusted with slurry and still has some staining. The underside has some rust staining and slurry staining, but the top's kind of dish, but you can flip it over and still use this side. And there's the base. You see the marks. The underside's got some chisel marks, whatever, from when it was made, and little tiny brads for holding on the bench, which is a common practice. So, anyways, kind of a neat stone. I've done a number of these, and boy, they do take some time to clean up, and there's always some cussing. Some folks will say, they'll soak the stone in vinegar to get rid of this stuff, but I ain't a big fan of vinegar for any reason. I don't like pickles or none of that stuff. So, but as is, it's still a pretty decent collectible, and good looking one at that. So, well, that's all for this one, folks. Hope you enjoyed my little presentation. I hope you learned something. And as always, if you like what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and bye.